Hey everyone! Today I'm going to be working on this caricature commission and talking about one of my all-time favorite 90s anime, Kodocha. Kodocha is a shortened version of the phrase Kodomo no Omocha, or child's toy. I first watched this anime in my early teen years, and while at first glance it may seem more appropriate for a younger audience, it actually has some heavier, more nuanced conversations down the line that are probably more suitable for older kids, or even adults. Even now, rewatching this anime 10 plus years later, I find myself laughing at the comedic moments and feeling a pang in my heart at the more serious moments. So let's start from the beginning. If you're completely unaware of what Kodocha is all about, here's the general premise. An 11-year-old child actress, Sana Kurata, attends a normal elementary school like every other kid. Conflict arises when Sana's teacher and friends are getting bothered by the school bullies, led by the aloof Akito Hayama. A game of cat and mouse is born, and seeing it through the lens of children makes for a funny, refreshing story. I'll be completely honest, this show was only dubbed halfway and I have only ever watched the dubbed episodes. I never ended up finishing the series, not just because of the dub, but because I've heard the ending is somewhat controversial. I haven't spoiled myself with that yet though, and I intend to finish it at some point. But what I want to talk about is the early stuff. The first few episodes is where the series really shines. It's so hilariously entertaining that I couldn't stop watching, even upon my recent rewatch. If you're turned off by loud and fast-paced childlike humor, the very beginning of the first episode may be a little bit much for you.
I am so desperately late for school. I didn't wake up until 8:30 and Mama says she won't even help me get up like it's my responsibility. I'm just a kid. I'm supposed to sleep in.
I could give you a ride.
Oh, Ray, you're so nice. You're the best ever. I love you. 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 I love you.
However, we have to remember that we are dealing with a girl who is just a child. Of course she's expected to act immature, hyper, and a little bit wild. Right away we meet Sana, and who we later learn is her adoptive mother, Misako. Misako is an author and wears eccentric hats, and also has a pet chipmunk who is often seen on said hats. We also meet her manager and agent, Ray. Sana is under the very weird impression that she's in love with Ray, and that he is her pimp, but she clearly doesn't fully understand what that word even means. A strange introduction to a cast, I know. It's kind of crazy how the pedophile jokes were a little bit more accepted back then. I just feel like nowadays that wouldn't fly as well as it did when this came out.
Let me see your face.
Sorry, I'm not allowed to take these off for any reason. Girlfriend's orders and all.
Girlfriend's orders? That's not really true, is it? I refuse to believe that you turned out to be some kind of pedophile.
Call it whatever you want. Hey there.
Oh look, it's the pimp.
As far as side characters go, I don't think the dub is anything to write home about. However, Laura Bailey, who provides the voice of Sana, absolutely shines in this dub. I think it's perfect for her voice, and I just couldn't picture Sana sounding any other way. Akito's voice actor Jerry Jewell also does a great performance, albeit sounding a tad mature for a 6th grader. Many people refer to the dub as the Fruits Basket dub because the two leads are the same voice actors as Toru and Kyo in the English dub of Fruits Basket. We find out why Sana's teacher is so reluctant to stand up to her unruly students. It's revealed that Akito has some sort of blackmail in the form of a photo. In the photo, the teacher is kissing another teacher and they want to keep their relationship under wraps. In response, Sana takes advantage by going on her television show, Kodocha, and publicly calling Akito out.
I'll just expose you adults for what you really are. Is that what you want me to do?
Now then, let's start with you shutting up.
She does her research in finding Akito's fear, which ends up being heights, so that she may challenge him publicly at a bungee jumping contest. But this backfires when she ends up screaming and getting way more terrified than Akito. As a last resort, Sana does exactly what Akito had done to the teachers. She collects blackmail against him.
It is also in this scene that we get a glimpse of the verbal abuse Akito suffers through at his home. Sana is shocked that this could even be a possibility, as she comes from such a loving home.
With the photo as ammo, she's able to somewhat control Akito, and the classroom can go back to a more normal state. Still, it's pretty short-lived, as one of Akito's followers, Gomi I believe, becomes the new boss of the bullies. The back and forth between Sana and Akito is endlessly entertaining, and while not all the physical gags hit, there are definitely some funny ones.
Where does that chipmunk thing take a dump?
He's very tidy. You see, Morrow believes in cleanliness, so he would never do that in his own home.
That's good. I thought that maybe your head was full of crap.
No, far from it, Romeo. Something wrong?
I think the dub in particular has some silly, wacky scenes that really make for laugh-out-loud moments. Even so, the show takes a really dark turn when you realize just how horrible Akito's sister is to him. She blames Akito for their mother's death because she died during childbirth with Akito. Sana calls out Akito's sister and father, and they realize that their actions directly affected Akito's acting out at school. In a really sweet scene, Sana pretends to be Akito's mother, and that moment always stuck with me.
Akito, you're my baby. I gave birth to you because I wanted you to live. Live for me. Live for my sake. Live with all my love, Akito.
For an 11-year-old girl, it was so mature and selfless, and it really adds layers to Sana's character. In fact, Sana's entire demeanor is a lot more of a facade than anything else, and she struggled with a number of personal problems that one wouldn't expect from just looking at her. She is strong-willed and determined, but is also only human, and just a child at that. The unlikely friendship that blossoms between herself and Akito is very touching. I think the idea that Akito has this tortured past just draws Sana closer to him, because she can relate to it so much. Over time, it becomes clear that Akito definitely likes Sana, or as he puts it, he doesn't hate her. Sana, however, remains pretty oblivious, but her care and compassion towards Akito doesn't falter, and seeing the two morph from enemies to friends is such a natural and satisfying process. I think a lot of the enemies to lovers stories really rush the whole idea, which just isn't my cup of tea. Second to enemies to lovers, my favorite trope is a nice slow burn, so to have the two of them together is definitely ideal. Kodocha can be hilarious and wacky one minute, then completely soul-crushing the next. Sana, Akito, and a number of other characters in the show have some very dark moments that relate to family, relationships, abuse, and more. I feel like this show could hit a little bit too close to home for a lot of people, including me. While the premise of enemies to lovers is always a hoot, the unexpected dose of drama is one of the most refreshing aspects of the series. If you like 1990s nostalgia and you enjoy a good laugh, Kodocha is a good pick to watch, even just as some background noise. Some humor is certainly a little bit more outdated and juvenile, but other parts of it had me cracking up. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings today on a glimpse into one of my favorite anime, and I also hope you enjoyed watching me create this piece for this couple. She's a repeat client of mine and actually ordered 3 pictures, but this is the one I worked on today and I had so much fun with it. I love drawing couples more than anything else. I know this was a little bit of a different video than what I've done so far on my channel, but I really enjoy drawing, so I just felt like drawing today, and I thought why not film the process and also just talk about one of my favorite shows that I've recently rewatched. Thanks for watching!